Hey guys, welcome back to another book overview video, and this time around to show you guys one of my best purchases I've made in recent memory as far as, video game books. And this is a Nintendo 64 Anthology by Geeksline, and that's the author. And this is a fantastic book. If you guys are fans of the Nintendo 64, this is a must-have book because it really covers every single detail of the console and the games, the accessories and whatnot. So let's just do a quick overview of the book here. I'm not gonna go into excruciating detail, obviously. If you guys are interested, obviously go ahead and buy the book. But again, this is a fantastic book if you are a fan of the Nintendo 64, which personally I love the system. I have a lot of childhood memories. And I think the Nintendo 64 houses very, very high quality games. The first section is the origins of the Nintendo 64, a little bit of a background on Nintendo's previous consoles and the competitors, obviously. And then as we move forward, we see images that if you guys were purchased video game magazines back in the early mid 90s, these are screenshots that will probably look familiar to you of shows like the CES show where Nintendo unveiled the console and things like that. So a lot of nostalgia for me because a lot of these images come from video game magazines from back in the day when I used to buy and read them and flip through them. And here we have the prototype, the Nintendo Ultra 64, which again, I vividly remember magazines showing the black controller and the system here itself. So a lot of great memories. And as we move forward, we have more articles on just oddities of the system. Things like the marketing campaign that Nintendo did, showing the VHS tapes here, or sending VHS tapes to people, the Nintendo Power magazine, which is another staple, the different magazines that what I was exactly talking about, guys. The different media publications that covered the system. Here we have some of the let's move forward to the next section that I wanted to show you guys. These are some weird Chinese things of the system. These are some of the games that got re-released on other on modern systems, like Animal Crossing for the 64 got released on the GameCube. We have some of the rare games that made their way to the Xbox Live Arcade. Here we have some interviews about GoldenEye, the different cartridge versions that were released. More interviews, but let's just jump into some of the interesting parts here. The different consoles here. This is a very good resource if you guys are collectors, like hardcore collectors. This is the hardware section, with the different Pikachu systems, the gold system, the different colors. Look at that, the different boxes, the different bundles that were released with the system, the Star Wars bundle, the Pokemon Stadium, and so forth. And of course we have some of the controllers, the different colors. Just a fantastic resource if you guys are collectors of the system. Here we have the third-party accessories that were released. I think Pete Dorr collected the Hori controllers, which are pretty cute looking, pretty fun looking. And as far as the different games here, they show you the differences between the boxes, in Europe, in North America. Here we have the accessories, the controller pack, the Rumble pack, obviously the expansion pack, the different steering wheels, which is just a fantastic resource that covers every square inch of the life cycle of the Nintendo 64. And here we have the meat and potatoes of the book, which is just going over every single game released on the system. And here we have a couple of Japanese only releases, which is pretty interesting. As you can see, we have the name of the game and a brief description of the game, and the box art of the games and so forth. So these are all Japanese exclusive games. And of course we have more popular releases here, like 1080 snowboarding. They show you different covers of the game. For example, here we have the North American cover, the European cover. They tell you the developer, the genre, the date that the game got released on Europe, the date that the game got released in North America and Japan. It also gives you a rating. It's like a personal review of the author of the game, and the rarity, which is another very interesting information for collectors. So you can use this book as a guide to see which games are rare and which ones are not, and the sales of the game, which I think it's pretty interesting. I'm not really sure what the source of the sales figures are, but it's there for those of you that are curious and want a ballpark figure of how many units a certain game sold. But it's in alphabetical order, obviously, and the Nintendo 64 did not have the biggest library out there, which is, I think, one of the draws of the collectors for the system, that having a full library of Nintendo 64 games, it's somewhat of an attainable goal. Of course, there are some games are very hard to get, but nevertheless, in my opinion, it's a fun system. And that did not age well, obviously, and you can see that in the early 3D graphics. And an example here of a rare game, which is Clay Fighter, the Sculptor's Cut. The rarity is 5 stars. So that's just a quick example. Here we have Cruising USA, Cruising World. I loved those games when I was growing up. And let me just flip through faster here. Just a fantastic section here with information about the games, screenshots, box art, release date information, sales information. If the games are good, they have a bigger section dedicated to them. And again, we have Japanese exclusive games included as well, which is pretty damn interesting, if you ask me. The international soccer games, which are fantastic. I love those games. Let me just flip through this faster. This thing also came included with a bookmark, which is pretty handy. So that's that. Here we have the Zelda games, Majora's Mask. Ocarina of Time here, it has an entire section dedicated to the game, which is no surprise here. It's one of the most highly revered games of all time, so no surprise that it has its own section. So let me just skip through it. We have some classic games here, the Rayman games, Resident Evil 2, Rush, San Francisco Rush, another fun game, Shadowgate 64, this game is fantastic, Sin and Punishment, Snowboard Kids 1 and 2, and as we get towards the end, we have the wrestling games, Wave Race 64, fantastic game, and so forth. The next section deals with the Nintendo 64 disk drive, which was an attachment that, as you guys know, it got released in Japan, and it was just a very rare accessory to get. And another section that it's just unbelievable, the amount of pictures and just overall information that it's provided in the book. We have Dojin the Giant, for example, the F-Zero expansion game. You have all the information here with the cover of the game and just general information that I think it's very, very interesting to flip through and read. We have canceled games, some famous ones here like Dinosaur Planet from Rareware, Earthbound 64, which is another famous canceled game. We have Eternal Darkness, which made its way to the Nintendo GameCube. I'm sure Resident Evil 0 is here somewhere. Yep, there it is, Resident Evil 0. That was a Nintendo 64 game originally. And so forth. I want to see if they have Shadowgate 2. I remember that game got announced. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Shadowgate Rising. Okay. And more information as far as collector's items. Like if you guys are into collecting crazy things, here you can see different types of memorabilia and just an overall collector's corner here where you can use this checklist to show which games you had and whatnot. And that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It's a great book, highly recommend it, and I will see you guys later.